Welcome back. In this episode, we punch rocks, punch trees, and before long, we've got a water mill powering a millstone to turn gravel into iron and zinc. Let's get into it. Alright, here we are. Welcome to Stone Block 3. If this is your first experience with my channel, I like to take a bit more of a chill approach to these mod packs. I explain what I'm doing rather than trying to speedrun to the end of the mod pack. Love for you to follow me on this journey, and hopefully I might encourage you to give the mod pack a try yourself. Link to the mod pack in the description. So when you start the game, this is what you see. A cavern full of lava and fire and just dark and grim. You may not realize that, but this is basically just the lobby. What we want to do is go into this portal. There are a few things worth exploring and having a look around. It's quite well designed. I really like this opening sort of chamber, but yeah, this is not the game itself. What we'll do is we'll step through the portal. Now we get to choose what our starting world is going to be like. Each of these has different advantages, like the lush caves. Obviously, they come with moss and other things like that. I'm actually going to go with the original because I feel like the other starts give you an unfair advantage. So let's go. And here we are. So in much the same way that a skyblock world is composed completely of air with a small platform with like a tree that you spawn on, Stoneblock, the entire world is made of stone, like it's solid stone. First things first, let's consult the quest book. So this is what the world looks like. We'll start in the center here and then slowly expand out and explore the rest of the world. This dark ring is the nether, and this section is the end. So let's tick that. And this is basically saying go into the lobby. And also if you've got friends that you want to play with, there's a few commands you need to use to synchronize your worlds, because otherwise you go into your own world. And there's also something called events that happen. It can be funny or mildly annoying, as it says. I actually find sometimes they're a little bit game breaking because they give you items that you might not get for quite a long time, but we'll see how it goes. I may actually not use all the items that we get if they're just too overpowered, because I do want to actually play through the mod pack. The quest book is gated, so it will open up as we unlock things. But let's start with getting started. So I guess we've got to start here. Rock and stone. Break some stone with your bare hands. All right, let's start punching. Okay, that's given us a stone pebble. And that gives us random reward. You can eat them? Okay, that's weird. All right, I've got a random reward, which is that magmator. What does that do? I don't know what that is. Looks like it's related to power. So we'll store that for the moment. Let's punch a few more stones. I'm curious about eating them. Okay, my hunger bar's not down, so I'll wait. Why would you want to eat pebbles? That is very strange. Okay, let's punch a bit more of this and craft some cobblestone blocks. Okay, got some cobblestone. Let's see what's next. So we want to make a crafting table. Crafting table is made with 4 cobblestone blocks. Let's keep punching. So this early part of the game is going to be kind of boring. There's not a lot going on. I'll try and explain what I'm doing as I go. So let's make a crafting table. This is going to be the central hub of my base, and it will expand out in all the 4 different directions with corridors and then have rooms coming off of it. For now, I'll place some things here in the central hub, but I'll empty them out later. So let's just place that there. Random reward. Common backpack. Oh, that's quite cool. Next, we can make a stone chest, a crook, and a hammer. I think we'll make the hammer because that will allow us to dig this stone a lot quicker. Cobblestone, stone rods. Let's do that. Need some more pebbles first. I do like mod packs that have unique mechanics. I haven't seen one where you got to punch stone to get pebbles. In vanilla Minecraft, that gives you nothing. And it also takes a lot longer than what we're seeing here. Okay, let's make some sticks. We need 2 more, don't we? Okay, yeah. At the start, getting stone pebbles takes a long time because we're only getting 1 or 2 per block. And obviously it takes 4 to make a cobblestone. Make cobblestone, put that in there, do that. And now we have a stone hammer. All right, now we want this because this will break these much quicker and give us cobblestone. So that is definitely, yeah, do that as soon as you can. Let's do a bit more mining of this. Don't want to dig too far because we only have this 1 torch and we are playing in normal mode, not peaceful, because there are mobs that we need to kill. So on the quest book here, there's actually something here to get a mob soul. Obviously that's not going to work if we're in peaceful mode. Let's make a chest. So we need 4 of those. Let's take that. Random reward. Chainmail boots. Improved pipe upgrade. Later on, once we have pipes, that would be very useful. But for the moment, that's no good to us. So that's what happens with random rewards. Next, we need to make a crook, just like that. The other thing we want the stone hammer for is to break cobblestone into all the resources we're going to need. If I place a cobblestone there, if I break that, you can see at the bottom it says it's going to break it down as gravel. So we'll do that. Now we have some gravel. So we do the same thing again. Now we've got dirt. Do the same thing again. Get sand. Sand becomes dust. So that's how you get all the different resources. I just unlocked a lot of quests. Got the crook. Basic battery with a bit of charge. Okay, that can be handy. Got some gravel. These ones are good because these will give you compressed versions of each of the resources. Gets you some of that stuff to start with. Okay, so we've got cobblestone, we've got some dust, got some compressed dirt and some compressed gravel. So you can take those and basically open them out. 1:9 ratio. So we've got 18 gravel and 27 dirt. Okay, that's pretty good. And 9 sand. Store the quest book. We don't actually need that in our inventory to open the quest log. So I just bound it to a key. Now let's get some saplings. So as it says here, get saplings from mining dirt with a crook. So let's put down some dirt. And just go to town on that. Loads of saplings. All right. So we have jungle, vexing archwood sapling. Okay. Acacia, birch, dark oak, spruce, and grass seeds. And beetroot seeds. No oak, though. I guess maybe we'll use birch. Little spot here. Have I messed that up? No, that looks to be center. One cool thing about this mod is you hit shift repeatedly and it will actually bone meal the tree. So let's just chop the wood down. So this mod does have Ultimine, but it doesn't work with your hand. If I hold down the key for Ultimine, which is in the top left of your keyboard, which is the tilde key, the one that's above tab, you can see it says Ultimine is not active, even though it's doing it. So it doesn't work with nothing in your hand. I think it does work. Yes, it does work with the stone hammer. So you just need to make some tools first. But I will just mine this out by hand and then make a axe, I think. One more should do it. Yep. And then it breaks the whole tree. So that's pretty cool. Let's make an axe so I can just do that a few more times. So yeah, standard stone axe recipe, which you're familiar with in normal Minecraft. And let's do that a few more times. And this time we can use Ultimine. Makes it a bit quicker. Actually, I just realized oak trees would be better because they give you apples. And I don't have a food source yet. So maybe I will just get myself an oak sapling, just so I have that option. Yes, okay, I got one. Get this oak sapling down. There we go, got an apple first time. Cool. All right, that's good that we've got that as an option. Let's get a furnace going. And I want to make some charcoal so we can start making torches because I want to start digging out. So let's consult the quest book. Get a sapling, random reward. I don't know what that is. Oh, Silk Touch Chance Pendant. That's interesting. Okay, got some wood. Now we got a choice of all the different woods that we want. What are we going to build our base out of? We have all these, I think, as saplings now, so it doesn't really matter. Let's grab more oak. All right, well, that's a good start. What I might do is just go away and plant a whole bunch more trees and then chop them down just to get some more wood. Then we'll continue on. I've spent a bit of time tidying up, putting in some more torches, gathered a bunch of wood, started using this pattern instead because that way you could have 5 going at once. Made a second furnace, making lots of charcoal. I've got a bit of hunger now, so I thought I might try eating the stone pebble. Okay. It poisons you. All right. It's a thing, I guess. Next, we need to get resources. So it's probably time to start getting into crate. So we need to build a millstone, a hand crank and a cogwheel. And to build a millstone, we're going to need andesite. So that means digging a hole. Because andesite is not available at this level. No matter which direction we dig, we're not going to run into it. We're going to have to dig down. Because the world is solid stone, I can actually break the cardinal rule of Minecraft and just dig straight down. But I'll need a way to get back up. So I'm going to make some ladders. I think I need to dig down to about level 50, if I recall correctly. Center slice of stone, 55 blocks tall. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to have to go down about 55 blocks. As you can see in the top right, I've got the coordinates there, so I'm at 0 already. I'm going to need a lot more ladders. Okay, stack of ladders, that should be perfect. Now, before I get too far, the stone hammer is pretty good. It'll let me dig 1 block at a time fairly quickly. So there's other hammers we can use. This hammer here, if you see the tooltip, it says mines a 3x3x1 area. So that's how you make it with actual stone. So I've got to cook up some actual stone, a few in that, let that cook. Right, so let's dig down. There we go. There's some andesite. All right, I guess we've got a ladder up now. So this mod pack is an interesting feature that lets you traverse ladders up and down very quickly just by walking into the ladder and then looking up and down. So I'm not actually pressing forwards to do this. Oh, wow. Okay. It looks like you can just hold down right click and it extends the ladder above me. It's going up very quickly. Whoops. Too far. Whatever. Grab a stone and make myself one of these hammers. So this mine's a 3x3x1 area. Now we're going to need a little bit of andesite, so I might as well go down there and just do a bunch of that. Wow, this fast descent is pretty quick, hey? So this will mine this block and all the blocks that surround it. Like that. Goes without saying, this is what I'll be using for tunneling out a lot of the base. So I'm just going to dig in this direction for a bit. Just grab some more andesite. Cool. All right. Let's head back up. Almost got 2 stacks of andesite, which is a good thing. Alrighty. So I've got some quests I could probably tick off again. Oh, what's this? Okay. I've unlocked a new section, obviously. Cool. Now then, we can build a millstone. So we just need to polish some andesite and use some kind of block and build some cogwheels. So to build a cogwheel, I think we're going to have to make some andesite alloy. Or am I wrong? No, we can skip that. We don't have to use the shaft. We can just polish some andesite and just make a lot of buttons. So let's do that. And make a lot of buttons. We need about 8. Put that in the middle. Put that around it. Cogwheel. Polished andesite, some diorite. Okay. And now we have a millstone. It's not going to do much unless we can actually provide some rotational input to it. So I'm going to need to create a hand crank and also a cogwheel to connect it. Put this down here for the moment. I can put a cogwheel on the side like that and a hand crank on top. And now when I return this, it turns that. So now what I can do is put some stuff in there and it will grind it. I think what it wants is gravel. So the way you do that is just by throwing it and it's just pulled it in. And now I just right click on this. So you can see the particle effects in this area here, which are of gravel. So it shows you it's actually doing some grinding. At the moment, we don't have a way of taking out items automatically, like with a hopper or something like that. It will store it inside the millstone, and we have to right-click to get it back out. So what I'm going to do is just hold this down until those particles go away, which means it's finished processing all the gravel that's in there. Now, if you also notice, my hunger bar is going down quite a lot. So this is one of the reasons why I was worried about those apples at the start, because this is obviously quite heavy manual labor, and we want to automate this as soon as we can. There we go. This particle stopped, which means it's finished. So I'm just going to quickly find some food. That'll do for now. I need to build a farm, get some crops growing, but we'll get to that. So right click and we get all the items out. So I got some raw zinc and some sand and some raw iron and some coal. So that was pretty cool. Got a few quests to tick off. Ender air bottle. And a laser wrench. Okay. What is a laser wrench? That's definitely going to be put into the chest of I'm not touching that, which I'll create at some point. Can we make normal chests now? Yeah, we can. Okay. Yeah, laser wrench seems a bit ridiculous. Let's put that away. What's next? I think the next thing we want to do is start automating this, which we can do if we build some water wheels. All right, well, I'll just build out this way. Using this hammer, I'll start clearing a space. I like this tool. It's a very quick way to make a big room. Give us a lot of resources as well. That's probably a good enough space to start working in, actually. Sometimes I get a bit precious about trying to create a perfect space to work in when, maybe it's better just to get it working and then move around later. Probably need to move this equipment now. So we'll set up a millstone somewhere here. Put that like that. And then I'll start looking at water wheels. So I've got small ones or big ones. What's a big one? Big one's just a water wheel surrounded that. So we'll make some of these. So we just need a bunch of shafts, which is just andesite alloy, which is zinc nuggets and andesite. Actually, 1 ingot would be enough, isn't it? Because we can break that down into nuggets. Is it like that? Yep, there we go. So we've got 4 andesite alloy, which will give us... Oh, that's good. So we get 16 shafts out of that. 8 large water wheels. All right. And we need some more of these cog wheels. Now that we have some shafts, we can use this top recipe. It uses less wood. And we're going to need water. Well, I've overlooked that, haven't I? Quest book will tell us. We need a cauldron. You need water by right-clicking the cauldron with leaves or saplings. Okay, we're going to need more iron, which means we're going to need that thing to be working still. So I guess we're grinding everything by hand for a little bit longer. Let's get some cobblestone down. Turn that into gravel. We need a little bit more iron to make that cauldron. I think that's probably the only way to make water. There we go. 1 piece of iron. Oh, that's a bit rude. I guess we're just going to have to do a bit more of this manually. There we go. Grab that. Hopefully I got... There we go, 7 that time. That's how many I needed from the start. Why did it give me such bad drops? I don't know. Maybe it just hates me. Let's make a cauldron. Put this here. Place some saplings inside there. Oh, okay. I actually thought it would have to sit there and process. I didn't realize it was going to come straight out. I just need to make a bucket. Excellent. Now, can we just make an infinite water source? Because if so, then our water problems are solved. Let's just make a little nook here just to test it. Yep, looks like that works. Cool. Now I want to create a gearbox because that will let me redirect the motion in a different direction because we need it to be vertical, not horizontal. So I need to make an andesite casing. So to make an andesite casing, we're going to need some logs. Let's make 4. What you want to do is strip them and then apply the andesite alloy to it. And it's done. So now we need to make that gearbox, which I think was that. And then the andesite casing, like that. The thing about this is it's got shafts coming out all around it, not top and bottom. What that means is you can connect shafts to it, and that's like a 90-degree corner. The rotational motion will translate out that way. Because of how it's geared up inside, this shaft will actually rotate in the opposite direction to this. So you can't see that here, but that's just something to be aware of. The other cool thing is also a vertical gearbox, which you can get by switching it like that. It has a shaft underneath as well, so top and bottom. So what we'll do is I'll replace this and then place this vertical gearbox like that. And then I'll have a shaft going into the wall that way, and that's where the water wheels will be. Let's clear some more of that space. All right, let's extend the shaft out and let's put our water wheel on there. So you can see it's pretty big. Surprisingly, it doesn't matter that it's colliding with the floor and the ceiling, but I'm going to tidy it up just because it looks ugly. That is good. So how many did we have? 8. So I'm just going to clear an area for those. So I'll do that and come back. Okay, there you go. That's enough space for the 8 water wheels. So let's place these on. Now we just need water. So let's grab the bucket. Place some water there. So now that's rotating in that direction. If I do the same thing, fill it all in, we should have loads of rotational power. There we go. So that is rotating very slowly. We'll fix that up in a moment. But this will now grind stuff for us, so we don't have to use our hand crank. This is our first step at automation. Okay, I've moved a few of these items around, because I think this is probably going to be my resource generation area. So I've moved the furnaces in here, created a new chest that we can store some of our products. What we need to do next is speed this up, because this is great, but it's not going to get us resources very quickly. Get rid of this. So with rotation, if you have a small cog going into a large cog, the large cog will rotate slower. So we want a large cog going into a small cog, like that. You can see that's already rotating faster. So we can place another large cog on that, and now we need to place a cog here, but As you can imagine, that would connect that shaft and this whole thing would jam up and stop like that. So what we need to do is actually encase this like that. So now there is actually no shaft there. So I just right-clicked with the andesite casing. So now I can place that there. You can see this is in line with that, but it's rotating quite a lot quicker. So let's do that trick again. Large cogwheel, and then another andesite casing there. Small cogwheel, large cogwheel, and then one more andesite casing, and then one small cogwheel will finish that off. Look at that. Now is probably a good time to mention how to turn cobblestone into gravel more efficiently. You can actually do that with the compressed forms as well. Place that down like this, and then use the hammer on that. And now we have an entire stack of gravel. So you don't have to place as many in the world. So if I chuck that into there, processing our gravel a lot quicker and not getting hungry. So the next thing I want to do is actually automate this so I can just feed in a bunch of gravel and it will just filter through and then actually go out into an inventory, like a chest or something. I might actually move this first. So I place this up here, like that, and then put the millstone up that. Now I have a space underneath it. Obviously I need to dig this ceiling out a bit. I'll probably raise the ceiling in this room anyway, so that is going to be fine. So I'll grab this chest, put that underneath. All I need now is a hopper or something to link those two. And if I do the same above, that won't open because there's no space above it. Let me just fix that. Now that opens. If I have a hopper under that, it'll feed into here, which will then feed into there. There's two different things we can build. We can build a hopper, which looks like that. And it's pretty straightforward. It uses 5 pieces of iron. We could actually go for something slightly cheaper. So there is something called a chute. So that requires only 3 pieces of iron. And it makes 4 chutes. We just need to make iron sheets. You can use an engineer's hammer. There's another way of using tinkers to do some casting, but I don't have any of that set up. The other way is using a mechanical press from the crate mod, and that's relatively straightforward. So we should probably do that. So this is what a mechanical press looks like. It's just a shaft, an andesite casing, and a block of iron. So that's really easy. We'll build a depot as well. We'll put that underneath, and that's where the things will be sitting that they're going to be crushed. Andesite alloy and andesite casing. So let me just make those 2. Excellent. Make a depot as well. Cool. Put it on that. Yeah. Is that the right height? It is. Okay, if I place that underneath, if I just chuck a piece of iron on there, it sticks. And then it gets stamped. And now we have an iron sheet. And we can actually chuck multiple on there at the same time and they will process them all at once. Or process them one after the other, I mean. That's pretty cool. There we go. So next up, we want to create those chutes. So put one there and put one there. If we get some gravel, put that straight into here. Look at that. And now that will come straight out into here. Oh, that's amazing. So I've done a little bit of tidying up in here. Just moved the ceiling up a little bit. There's still a lot more work to be done, but this is looking a little bit better. I've also spent a bit of time just clearing this area out, got rid of the chests, like I said, and this is going to be like the central hub. And through here, I've just created a very quick farm just to get me started, get some food, nothing special. This will tide me over for the moment. I think it's probably time to end the episode. But before I do, I found this thing. It's called a chance cube. I think I have to open it up. So I'm just going to put it here and see what it gives me. Oh. Okay, that's cool. I guess I can make a diamond sword. Nice. Well, I think that's a good place to end the episode. We got through quite a lot today. We're really just getting started, so punching stones, punching trees, yeah. We've got the beginnings of some automation, which is exciting. Next episode, I'm hoping to continue tackling that and start unlocking more resources like gold and copper. If you want to check out what else I'm up to, then join the Discord. And I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.